At the family dining table, there was always one empty chair. Lisa's mother said it was for the youngest sibling. But Lisa knew she only had one brother. The hospital records proved it. That chair was not for someone to be remembered. It was for someone to return. And the one waiting wanted to live again. Lisa always see the empty chair in the family dining table. It stand in the corner, near the window, always clean, no dust. Nobody ever sit there, not even guest. Mother say many time, that chair for the youngest sibling, but Lisa confused because she only have one brother, Ryan, and he is older than her. Every mealtime, that chair feel like waiting for someone who never come. The air near it always feel a bit cold, even when the sun shine bright outside. One afternoon, Lisa asked Ryan, "Do we have other sibling?" Ryan laughed a little, but his smile not reach his eyes. "No, just us." Then he quickly changed topic. Lisa feels strange, because Ryan's hand shake when he take his drink. Later that night, she hear her parents talking in kitchen. Their voice low, but she catch words like "not time yet" and "promise" to her. She feel like the empty chair hiding big secret her family never want to tell. Few days later, Lisa cleaned the dining room when mother busy in the kitchen. She touched the empty chair, feeling the smooth wood under her fingers. Suddenly, she feels something brush her hand, like cold wind. She turn around, but nobody there. The curtain near the window move a little, even when the window closed tight. Lisa's heart beat faster, and she pull her hand away, staring at the chair like it might move by itself. That night, she cannot sleep. She keep thinking about the chair, the cold touch, the strange words from her parents. In the dark, she imagines someone sitting there, face hidden in shadow. She almost hears soft breathing near her ear. Lisa pull the blanket over her head and try to ignore it, but the feeling not go away. It is like someone waiting for her to notice them, waiting very close. The next morning, she decide to check old family document in the storage room. The place smell like dust and old paper. She finds school record, birth certificate, hospital file. Her hands stop when she see a hospital record with family name, but only 2 children written, Ryan and Lisa. No youngest sibling. Lisa feel her skin turn cold. If that is true, then who is the chair really for? The whispers from the wardrobe grew louder, like someone was standing just behind its closed doors. Rainia stepped closer, the wooden floor creaking beneath her bare feet. Her hand trembled as it hovered over the brass handle. The cold that radiated from the wardrobe was unnatural, piercing through her skin. She could smell damp earth, as if the thing inside had been buried underground for years. She swallowed hard, forcing herself to breathe evenly, but her chest still tightened. The candlelight flickered violently, shadows stretching across the room in twisted shapes. The whispering turned into faint murmurs of her name, spoken slowly, as though savoring each syllable. Ra, Nia. The sound was neither male nor female. It was both, layered over itself, making her spine crawl. Her knees wobbled, yet an invisible pull urged her forward, closer to the unknown that waited beyond the wardrobe door. She could feel her pulse in her ears. Her fingers finally gripped the handle. The metal was icy, as if it had been left outside in the winter night. For a moment she hesitated, her reflection in the wardrobe's dark surface showing her pale face and wide, frightened eyes. Then something from inside scratched at the wood. It was slow at first, then faster, more frantic. The wood groaned as though resisting. Rania froze, knowing the sound was too deliberate to be a rat or insect. From the corner of the room, the porcelain dolls on the shelf began to tilt, one by one, their glass eyes glinting in the candlelight. It felt as if the entire room was holding its breath, waiting for her next move. The whispers stopped suddenly, replaced by a silence so heavy it felt like the air itself had turned to stone. Her fingers twitched around the handle. A sudden knock from inside the wardrobe made her gasp and stumble back. Not a soft tap, 3 hard, deliberate knocks that rattled the door. Her heart pounded so loudly she could hear it in the silence. Then slowly, the door began to creak open on its own. The wardrobe door opened just enough for a sliver of darkness to spill out, swallowing the candlelight near it. The smell of damp soil grew stronger, almost choking her. Rania stared into the gap, but there was no shape, no figure, only a void darker than any shadow she had ever seen. The cold seeped into her bones, making her teeth chatter despite the sweat on her forehead. Her fingers trembled at her sides, unable to decide whether to close the door or pull it wider. Something shifted inside, not a footstep, not a rustle, more like the sound of fingers dragging slowly through dirt. She took one step back, her heel hitting the leg of the bed. The void inside seemed to breathe, a faint inhale that made the candle flicker toward it as if drawn in. The floor beneath her felt unsteady, almost soft, like it too was being pulled into whatever darkness was inside the wardrobe. A pale hand emerged from the darkness, its skin stretched thin over bone, dirt clinging to its nails. It rested on the edge of the wardrobe door, unmoving for a moment, as if testing the air. Rania's breath caught in her throat. The hand twitched once, twice, then began to curl its fingers inward, scraping the wood with a high, grating sound. Her knees weakened, but she couldn't look away. Then came the whisper again, louder now, echoing from inside the darkness. "You brought me back." The words crawled into her ears, heavy with accusation. Her mind raced. She had never seen this thing before, yet somehow the way it spoke felt like it knew her. She shook her head in disbelief, but the hand gripped the door harder, pulling it wider, revealing more of that impossible blackness inside. The candle beside her went out without warning. The room plunged into total darkness, save for the faint, sickly glow that now pulsed from inside the wardrobe. Rania could hear the slow, deliberate sound of someone, or something, stepping out onto her bedroom floor. The first step it took was almost soundless, yet the air in the room grew heavier, as if every shadow leaned toward it. Rania's eyes strained against the dim glow, trying to see the full shape. At first, all she could make out was a hunched silhouette, its spine arched unnaturally high, and strands of long, matted hair hanging over what should have been its face. The smell of grave soil and something rotten wrapped around her like an invisible shroud. It dragged one foot forward, leaving behind small clumps of wet dirt on the floorboards. Each movement was slow, deliberate, as though savoring the distance between them. The pale hand reached forward again, but this time not toward the wardrobe, toward her. A low groan seeped from behind its curtain of hair, a sound that was neither human nor fully animal, vibrating through the very walls of the room. Rania stumbled backward until her spine hit the cold wall. Her instincts screamed at her to run, but her legs were stiff, refusing to obey. The figure's head tilted unnaturally to one side, cracking joints as it did. The dim glow from within the wardrobe flickered like dying embers, revealing glimpses of its face. Sunken eye sockets, gray skin stretched tight, and lips torn at the edges into something that might once have been a smile. "You opened the door," it said, voice raspy yet clear. "Now you cannot close it." Its words sank into her chest like cold water. She remembered the strange soil she had accidentally spilled days ago after finding it in an old cloth bag outside her door. She hadn't thought much of it, just swept it aside. But now the scent was the same, and the realization made her stomach drop. The creature stepped fully into her room, leaving the wardrobe gaping open behind it. That strange black void inside still pulsed faintly, as if waiting. Rania's breath came in short, shallow bursts. The figure loomed closer, its shadow stretching impossibly long across the walls. The room no longer felt like her own. It felt claimed. Its steps made no sound, but each one pressed on Rania's chest like invisible weight. She tried to scream, but only a broken whisper escaped her throat. The creature stopped a mere arm's length away, its rotten breath spilling over her skin. Its long, skeletal fingers traced the air near her face without touching, as if memorizing the shape of her fear. "I have followed the scent," it murmured, each word rattling like dry bones. "The earth you found belongs to me." Rania's mind spun. How could soil belong to anyone? But deep down, she knew it wasn't ordinary earth. It was taken from somewhere it should never have left, and by disturbing it, she had invited something ancient into her life. The creature leaned closer, its hair brushing her cheek, cold and damp. "A piece of me lies there. You carry it now." Rania's stomach churned. She remembered the night she'd swept the dirt into a corner. The next morning, she had found a small, sharp fragment of bone mixed within it. She had thrown it in the trash without thinking, without knowing. Its head twitched suddenly, and its voice dropped to a whisper so soft it felt like it was inside her skull. "Return what you took, or I will take what you are." The glow from the wardrobe flared briefly, and for a moment Rania thought she saw shapes moving inside, other figures, all watching her with hollow eyes. Her knees buckled, but she forced herself to remain standing. The wardrobe door still yawned open, its darkness pulsing faster, almost like a heartbeat. She realized with chilling certainty, if she refused, she would be dragged into that black void, and she would never return. Rania's breath came fast and shallow as she stumbled backward, trying to keep distance from the wardrobe. The creature didn't move, yet its shadow stretched toward her, long and crooked like broken branches. She thought about the fragment of bone she had thrown away. It was gone, collected with the trash days ago. Returning it was impossible. Her mind raced. Maybe she could find the place the soil came from. She recalled the delivery truck that had spilled some dirt in front of her house last week, the driver muttering about old ground from a dismantled cemetery. If that was true, the origin lay far away and somewhere she was never meant to tread. The creature tilted its head, as if sensing her thoughts. "The path will open for you," it rasped, "but only under the same moon it was taken." Rania's heart dropped. That meant midnight tonight. A thin, unnatural wind seeped from the wardrobe, carrying the scent of damp earth and rotting leaves. Every instinct screamed at her to run, but she knew there was no escape from something that could seep through walls and follow her into her dreams. She needed to go to that place, yet the idea of stepping into the wardrobe's darkness clawed at her sanity. Still, if she refused, her life would not be her own for long. The glow inside the wardrobe dimmed, revealing a narrow dirt path vanishing into an endless black forest. The creature extended one hand, not to harm her, but to beckon. "Walk and return what is mine," it hissed, "or stay and become mine." Rania's trembling foot took its first step toward the unknown. The air inside the path was colder than ice, Yet each step sank into damp soil that clung to her shoes. The forest whispered in voices too low to understand, and the moon above was pale and swollen, hanging unnaturally close. Rania's skin crawled. This was no ordinary place. She reached a clearing, and there it was, an open grave, its edges crumbling as if it had been disturbed long ago. The soil inside looked identical to what had appeared in her wardrobe. Beside it lay a mound where a wooden plaque with no name leaned, cracked and weathered. The wind carried a faint sound, like someone breathing beneath the earth. Her hands shook as she scooped the soil from the jar she had brought, the same cursed dirt that had haunted her nights. As it fell into the grave, the breathing grew louder, then stopped altogether. The ground shivered under her feet, and the moon's light seemed to dim, swallowed by the trees. When she turned to leave, the forest had changed. The path she had come through was gone, replaced by an endless stretch of crooked headstones. Behind her, the open grave was no longer empty. A pale figure now stood inside, smiling with blackened teeth, its eyes unblinking as it whispered, "You brought it back. Now stay with me." The last thing Rania felt was the cold grip of skeletal fingers around her wrist, pulling her down into the soil until the earth swallowed her whole. By morning, the wardrobe in her room stood empty, except for a faint trail of fresh dirt leading toward her bed.